From the very beginning, the story around Archie and Lilibet wasn't just a royal birth announcement. It was a collision between modern celebrity privacy and a monarchy that survives on transparency, paperwork, and centuries of ritual. When people first began asking questions, the reaction wasn't mild curiosity. It was frustration. Why are you lying? Why are you misleading the public? And naturally, that secrecy became the perfect fuel for surrogacy rumors. Meghan's vivid descriptions of the Portland hospital, the supposed details of labor that were later contradicted by official records,
more friction and a lot more issues that unfolded as the years went on. And now it's really hard for Harry and Meghan to get away from them without doing some sort of Hail Mary, bringing forth lots of evidence to just shut all these rumors down, which
and the inconsistencies around the timing all created a fog that nobody in the palace even tried to clear. Everyone knew the first interview went to CBS. Everyone knew Meghan had originally planned a home birth. And everyone knew that if Harry and Meghan wanted the speculation to stop, there was one simple solution: show proof. In the royal world, documentation is everything. It's how they protect history, legitimacy, and the line of succession. When something goes undocumented, that omission becomes louder than a scandal because the monarchy never forgets its own paperwork. Archie's birth immediately raised eyebrows, and not because of conspiracy theorists online, but because it was the first time a royal baby arrived without the usual ceremonial rollout. No framed notice on the golden easel outside Buckingham Palace, no quick appearance on the hospital steps, no set of polished christening photos. The monarchy doesn't just exist, it archives itself with brutal consistency. Every royal baby, from Princess Anne's children to the Wessex kids, got their spot in the record, even when their parents chose a more private path. But when analysts searched for Archie in the archives, nothing lined up. No official portraits, no registry entries filed in the normal order, no inclusion in the court circular. He wasn't quietly included, he was quietly missing, and that wasn't a privacy preference. In royal standards, that was a crisis. The pregnancy itself had already raised questions. Meghan's bump appearing and disappearing in different shapes and sizes, claims of preeclampsia that didn't match hospital release timelines, and stories that
Archie's birth controversy, because it's not just where the rumors of possible use of a surrogate were born. It's also where Meghan and Harry made some major mistakes that only fueled all of these rumors and issues surrounding
shifted between interviews. Analysts weren't basing
postpartum preeclampsia or just preeclampsia, which would have been prepartum
theories on fantasy. They were comparing Meghan's public statements to hard protocol, and nothing matched. Then came the moment that set the rumor mill on fire: the altered birth certificate. Meghan's actual name, which should appear plainly as the mother, was swapped out and replaced entirely by her title, Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. In royal culture, you do not casually change a birth certificate. It signals disagreement, intervention, even conflict behind the scenes. Archivists instantly knew something was off. The document didn't look like a simple correction, it looked like a message. While the media tried to fill in the gaps, Harry and Meghan stuck with their privacy narrative. But privacy doesn't mean erasing protocol. Privacy doesn't mean altering documents. Privacy doesn't mean telling the public Meghan is in labor when Archie had been born hours earlier. When the palace had to correct that misleading announcement, the damage was immediate. The public felt played. And once people think you're hiding something, they go digging.
Why are you lying to people? Why are you trying to mislead people? And naturally, this is only going to end up being fuel for surrogacy rumors.
The whole description she does of the Portland hospital, the birth, that was completely fabricated. We all know the first interview was given to CBS. We all know that she never intended to go to the Portland hospital. She intended to have the baby at home.
All Harry and Meghan need to do is prove to us that she popped those babies out. And that's all they need to do. And if they don't, it is unfair on the children.
By the time Lilibet Diana arrived in 2021, the royal rulebook had already been shattered. But the second
Ceremony.
birth made the
A
situation
framed birth
even messier.
notice on a
There was no
golden
royal
easel,
doctor
a
present,
staged
no palace
christening
announcement,
shot,
no acknowledgement in official records, and no mention in the court circular. The world learned about her birth through a California-style celebrity press release, something utterly foreign to the monarchy. Inside Buckingham Palace, Lilibet's birth may as well have never happened. And in royal protocol, if it isn't recorded, it isn't recognized. It's brutal, it's cold, but it's how the monarchy keeps its structure intact. People close to the situation said the palace's silence wasn't an accident. It was a signal. Royal titles aren't decorative. They're legal indicators tied to lineage, legitimacy, and the Church of England. To earn recognition, a child must be born into the bloodline, recorded formally by the palace, and baptized within the Church of England. Meghan and Harry didn't meet two of those requirements. Both children were reportedly baptized privately in America with no Church of England oversight and no UK records. That baptism alone disqualified them from automatic royal standing. The palace didn't need to issue a statement. Protocol spoke for them. Then came the emotional part, Harry's calls. According to insiders, he reached out repeatedly, pleading for his children to be acknowledged in the traditional record, not for fancy titles, but for legitimacy, identity, and history. Friends said he sounded frustrated, even haunted by the silence, yet the institution didn't budge. In the monarchy's world, rules don't bend for anyone, not even for a prince who walked away.
Extensively, and they have commented extensively on her pregnancies with Archie, as well as her
And the pregnancy as well. Because during the pregnancy, there was all these suspicions and these weird things that people were like, wait, what is happening here?
Meanwhile, Meghan publicly cultivated the image of a modern royal mother, a
This
global
wasn't a
figure
slip-up. This was
representing
unheard
empowerment
of. People
and
tried
progress.
brushing it off as the
But
Sussex
behind the scenes, the palace, withholding recognition, created a crack in that carefully managed identity. Without official acknowledgement of her children, her brand weakened. She could present them in interviews and documentaries, but the monarchy holds the final word on royal legitimacy. And that contradiction became impossible to hide. The media picked up on the inconsistencies. No christening photos, no succession updates, no ceremonial inclusion. The Wales children were visible in polished family portraits, smiling from balcony moments, and appearing in official events. Archie and Lilibet were nowhere to be found. Bloggers zoomed into footage, comparing timelines with statements. Analysts read between lines of press releases that contradicted themselves. Every missing piece fed the fire. And because the palace refused to speak, the public controlled the narrative. Royal insiders whispered that the palace's method was quietly brutal. By doing nothing, no statements, no listings, no recognition, they avoided a direct confrontation, yet sent a devastating message. The Sussex children could exist publicly, but they did not exist within the monarchy. As the months stretched into years, the silence around Archie and Lilibet didn't fade. It got louder. Their absence in royal documentation became a phenomenon that spiraled into global speculation. Royal watchers began comparing the Sussex children to every other royal baby of the last century. The pattern was clear. Every royal child, even those with minimal public roles, received acknowledgement. The Sussex children alone remained off the books. This created a vacuum that the internet rushed to fill. Social media threads dissected every timeline inconsistency, every contradictory interview, every blurry moment in the Netflix documentary. Theories exploded, some wild, some grounded in the very real inconsistencies from Harry and Meghan themselves. Meghan's descriptions of labor didn't align with documented medical protocol. Claims of extreme hunger during labor that supposedly required Taco Bell stops made no medical sense. Stories changed depending on the platform. And because the public had already caught the couple misleading them once with Archie's announcement, trust evaporated. Even more damaging was how the palace's silence took on its own life. Buckingham Palace didn't need to accuse, deny, or confirm anything. Their refusal to enter the Sussex children into the formal system said everything. Titles withheld, recognition withheld, succession placement withheld, a quiet erasure, a cold administrative vanishing. This wasn't done with malice. It was done with calculation. Royal insiders revealed that invitations normally sent automatically to royal grandchildren were never extended to Archie and Lilibet. Not as punishment, but because without recognition, the system cannot include them. It became a loop. No recognition because no documentation. No documentation because no protocol compliance.
Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan continued presenting their children to the world through a Hollywood lens. Birthday portraits, podcast mentions, emotional storylines, without noticing that the palace's refusal to acknowledge them was undermining every part of their narrative. The gap between the Sussex version and the palace version grew until it became an open wound. The public sensed the tension. Every time Meghan mentioned the past birth experience, every time Harry spoke about protecting their children, the inconsistencies only deepened the feeling that something wasn't being said. And when Meghan changed her tone depending on the interviewer, it fueled suspicion even further. Royal watchers knew the monarchy could be cold and rigid, but they also knew it was predictable. Protocol doesn't shift based on personal feelings. The only way two royal children end up missing from the record is if something significant went wrong behind the scenes, something bigger than privacy. In the end, the story of Archie and Lilibet became a mirror reflecting the entire Sussex monarchy feud. Meghan and Harry believed privacy was protection. The monarchy believed protocol was protection. And the children ended up caught in the crossfire. Publicly celebrated, privately questioned, officially unrecognized. Two little names missing from a system that has documented every birth, death, and lineage for centuries. A silence so loud, it became the scandal itself.